Who's that on TV? Oh shit, looks like John Wick. Bill and Ted, just Ted. Neo from the Matrix. Who's that? Keanu Reeves.
Hello and welcome to Good Boys Gone Bland, Season 5, Episode 8, The Replacements. I'm Denali, the football, from California Private State University of Utah Technical.
I'm Ryan, and I really wish my name was Shane Falco, because that's a really good name.
That's your name?
That's my nickname, yeah. Really wish it was Shane Falco.
Jace Barley, Blue Baller State University. Big blue balls. Hope I didn't wake anybody up in my house with it.
It's good.
Yeah, that's right, because we're recording in the morning.
We're recording in the morning. This is a unique recording time for us because for the people listening, you know, this is recorded 4 weeks ahead of time. Today is ironically Super Bowl Sunday. It is February 13th, 2022. And it won't be when this airs. The day of our Lord, thank you. And today's a Super Bowl. It hasn't happened yet. This is the morning of. We had to fit in an early recording. It's gonna be between the Rams and the Bengals, and I thought maybe it might be a good time to maybe take some predictions, maybe of how things are gonna go. I think we're at a unique.
I got it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Giant meteor impact.
Okay. Meteor impact.
I think
That's hot take. Okay.
stadium was built on top of at least one set of dinosaur bones as you approach the center of the earth. So
Statistically,
dinosaur comes up in the middle of the field.
Unironically, I don't know how far it is from the La Brea Tar Pits.
Yeah, it's not. I think it's like probably 40 miles.
Oh,
like
okay.
it's probably but they could walk. They could walk to the stadium like the dinosaurs.
Is that where it's just like hot enough in LA that the pavement melts tires on cars?
And exposes the dinosaurs
They
underneath.
call that the tar pits.
Yeah, it was the area they paved over. I have a couple hot takes. Like, I've got a category 1 take. This is like the lowest take. And in my category 1 is the Rams are going to win, but it's going to be all field goals. It's going to be like 6 field goals.
Wow.
Oh,
Right. Not bad. And I do have another category 1 take because, the halftime, it's going to be Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, and Eminem, Mary J. Blige, and Kendrick. I think they're going to play at least 2 tracks from Dr. Dre's 2001. And it's going to be next episode in Forgot About Dre.
that is a huge ensemble.
It's huge. It's stacked.
Is there a reason?
I think Ryan, you might be able to comment on this too. Like isn't this the first all hip hop halftime they've done?
Yeah,
like
I think it's the first one where hip hop
I think
is like
it's a
the
big deal.
main show. Like they've had other people, like, oh, it's Maroon 5, and then they let Beyonce like do a trick. So
God,
like all the people are like, don't get that angry.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we brought Coldplay and Bruno Mars, and it's
Is it normally 2?
It was 1 for a long time, and then they started kind of doing a bunch of ensembles, right? Like,
yeah, because it was kind of a big thing. Like Lady Gaga was pretty much just one, right? Though.
Yeah, she was the one. That was a great show. I love the Lady Gaga one. There's the famous Prince one. I saw Paul McCartney.
Michael
That was a great
Jackson,
one
yeah.
too. Did Michael? Oh yeah, that was that's a sick one. I have another hot take. I have category 2 take. Okay, we're gonna see the longest field goal in Super Bowl history. I think 70 yards
In
That
Super Bowl
that
history.
would also be the longest field goal
in NFL history.
Well, I'm still not
So
wrong.
that might be a category. I don't know. Is the higher the category, the
Yeah. I think I'm going hurricane rules.
Okay, not DEF CON.
Yeah. Do you guys have any? Category 2 takes?
My category 2 take is that I think that you don't understand football at all if you think that Cooper Kupp isn't going to score for the Rams in this game and it's just going to be field goals.
Yeah.
Also, if you think that just a 70-yard field goal is going to get
Oh, I don't care.
off.
That'd be crazy. I mean, we've seen that
That'd be
it's
crazy.
possible from the movie we just watched.
I think there is a rule in football. It's like an old rule when it was invented in the 1700s that if you do a 100-yard field goal, it's an auto win. It's kind of like catching the golden snitch. It's kind of just like auto win to save time because like they didn't have technology back then. It's hard to kind of like stay out there and watch the game the whole time.
There's
Cat
actually a
3 take.
golden snitch in NFL football.
There's nobody
It's
can
just so
catch
high.
it. Nobody can
So-
nobody can get up there.
Yeah.
It's in the air. It's kind of useless to the game, but once they invent flight for football, I think it's gonna come into play. I don't know why they release it every time. Cat 3, Tom Brady's gonna try to sneak a touchdown in, and he's gonna wear a Bengals helmet and jersey, and he's gonna get caught before he scores a point.
Holy shit! He won another Super Bowl with
That's how I was
another
doing
team.
it the whole time.
He's the greatest man of all time.
Tom Brady, get out of here, Tom Brady! Oh, he's already got the ring. Anyone have Cat 3 takes?
You know, I'm not a big footballer, so I don't.
Yeah, just a crazy take. Just like if we're right, it's gonna be on camera. Like,
Oh, okay.
we have a recording of the prediction.
How about this?
Okay.
Within the next few hours, the football teams are going to strike. Okay.
Oh,
more
yeah,
money.
yeah.
And then the Rams are going to cross the picket line, but the Bengals aren't. So they have to get like unemployed players to make like this. Yeah, to make like old college players and stuff to make like a ragtag team. And then the star quarterback, Keanu Reeves, that guy has a cannon and he's just chilling in Hollywood and they phone him up and he's like on a boat or something. And and he shows up and they win the whole thing.
That's stupid. That's stupid.
It would actually
That would never
be
happen.
more. It would be either A, more plausible or much easier with the density of football teams in California to be like, I know you have a contract, but we need you to come play in the Super Bowl. And you could field a very good, you could probably field a team that would beat the shit out of the Rams.
Yeah. I wonder if there's a future where football will fall out of favor. Kind of like,
This is happening.
Right. And I think we're
What?
slightly represented. Ryan, you don't follow football. I don't either.
Yeah, so I mean that's kind of the whole thing with the diversity of sports now. It's like at least up until the last year or so, basketball was on a very high rise. Football has always been by far the most popular, 4 or 5 times as popular. But the athletes right now are tending to go more towards sports where like individuals shine more. So I mean there's 55 guys on a football team, and
Are you saying that athletes are changing sport or that football as a whole in the United States of America?
No. No, I'm saying from a statistical analysis, like but pre-COVID, at least in the few years before COVID, the trajectories was that football wasn't getting more popular as quickly as the less popular sports were getting more and more popular.
And my prediction with that is if we ever get to a future where maybe football's struggling for ratings and struggling to get ad revenue, is that they'll start introducing drama and plot lines. So maybe they actually would get Keanu.
That's essentially what the NBA is doing.
Are they recruiting 65-year-old movie stars?
NBA drama is
crazy, especially since
yesterday.
It's gone crazy in the last 24 hours.
Let me
Are
try
there
and
plot lines like
summarize
WWE?
it for you quickly, Denali.
Okay.
There is a player on one team who is an anti-vaxxer.
Okay.
On his team is one of the best players in the NBA.
I would say two of the best.
Two of the best players. One of the best players was like, I'm tired of being around this anti-vax bullshit. Get me out of here. I want to trade now. He gets traded to another team for a guy that has refused to play all season because his team and all the fans of the team think he's washed because he can't shoot a three-pointer and he can't drive it in. Can't drive it into the hoop, and everybody makes fun of him.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not gonna play. At the beginning of the season, he tried to say that he couldn't play because it was a mental health issue, and they shut that shit down. They were like, no, you can fuck yourself. Which maybe he has the yips, maybe doesn't. People were being rude to him, and he's like, I won't play here. You have to trade me. So they traded teams, and then there was some drama about the All-Star team, I think, and then ending up being back on the same team in the All-Star team. It's crazy.
That's actually a really good summary, Jace. But yeah, like the NBA drama.
That was hard to follow.
The NBA drama like destroys NFL drama because their faces are a lot more literally exposed. Like NFL, that's one thing too, is like it's less star driven because people aren't so used to just seeing the players.
They should take the helmets off. Like they should make them without the helmets and a magnifying glass instead.
Or just glass.
Just glass, and then you could see their faces, and I think that would help the ratings.
Wait, I want to.
Anyways, I have a cat.
Oh, go ahead. What's your?
Yeah. Oh, I have a cat 4 take, if I may. An alien's going to explode out of Eminem's chest during the halftime, and everyone's going to think it's part of the show.
Wow.
That's my Category 4 take.
Wait,
I can't
is there
wait
a
to hear
Cat 5
category
take?
5 takes.
I do have a Cat 5 take,
Cat 4 take.
but you heard it here first.
It's
yeah.
the same thing, but with Mary J. Blige.
It's the Cat 4 take is it's the first time we're gonna see full dong during a halftime Super Bowl show.
Oh.
Yeah, did you hear about that?
Wow. Wait, is that a thing that's going to be predicted? Is it multiple people think
Jace, are
this?
you not making a referential joke?
I'm not making a reference.
Is
There's
Eminem gonna show
there's
his
this
dick?
stupid article that was like Dr. Dre confirmed that Eminem
Yeah.
will not take his penis out on TV today.
Wait, I did see. You confirmed? That makes it more suspicious. Okay, I heard it here. We are in currently, as of today, a penisless Eminem.
Yeah, this
world.
is being recorded
Okay.
before the Super Bowl. Let's make that clear.
Before the Super Bowl.
You want
So,
me to go
you heard
like
it here first.
get a clock? I'll hold up my
Yeah.
phone screen.
Hold up a phone. Hold up today's paper to this
Yeah.
screen. Yeah, nice background. I do have a Cat 5 take. I don't want to belabor this. The venue is going to forget the letter T in football for all their merchant signs, and causing an entire generation to call it football from now on. That's my Cat.
Oh, nice. Like
That's like
Bojack.
30% of the South already again. Football.
Football. It's going to be
Denali,
legally changed to football. Yeah.
In BoJack, the D gets stolen off the Hollywood sign. So literally the entire world
Hollywood.
just starts referring to Hollywood as Hollywood. And
It's-
they just overnight, no questions asked. Everybody's like the D's crossed out on all the merchandise.
Yeah. Well, that happened at our high school, didn't it?
Colon.
Someone,
Colon.
yeah,
forgot
Colony
about
High
that.
School had the Y stolen for like 6 years. It was gone for a really long time, and it was colon for like the entire time we were there, pretty much.
Which is pretty good.
I'm amazed.
I did
too,
hear-
because
Yeah.
not that hard to get a replacement or make one
New
out of
Y?
sheet metal and paint it white.
I don't think they fund any money towards schools.
Yeah, well, I know that firsthand.
I don't even necessarily mean funding. There was a shop
Yeah.
where kids cut up metal and weld it all
In
day.
the building.
You could have,
So-
with no additional funding, made
Yes.
the Y.
That's the thing. Like, I heard a rumor, and statute of limitations, right? I heard a rumor that it was some of the shop kids that actually took the Y down. They welded it off or cut it off or whatever you call it, and then they threw it in the bottom of the Wasilla Lake, and it's still there. That was the rumor.
We need to
I
go
heard.
scuba diving.
we can get the Y back. Anyone have Cat 5 takes? You guys have a hot take?
Wait, what was your Cat 5 take? Oh,
The football.
I think
I
that
think that's more likely than some of your other takes, dude.
Well, shit. You wait to hear my Cat 6.
There's no Cat 6.
There is a Cat 6.
Not in
There's a Cat 6
hurricanes?
now. You haven't seen a hurricane big enough.
I think
And with climate change, like
Yeah, you're right.
I think it's got to have something to do with TikTok, and
Yeah, all the kids are on that now.
the fact that the Super Bowl is in LA, super high population of the most Gen Z of Gen Zers. Yeah. I'm looking through the crystal ball. I don't know what the Cat 5 is, but it's gonna relate to
yeah.
TikTok in a young age group.
Yeah, so you're looking through the Force. You know how like they're like, oh, the dark side clouds the Force, but you can kind of see images.
Yeah.
You see images of people like kind of doing like dance challenges.
I
and
think
it's gonna be,
somebody's
like,
gonna do
weird-
a dance challenge
yeah.
for TikTok at the Super Bowl at one of the higher levels and fall off and die.
That's not. I don't think that's a Cat 5 at all, dude. That happens all the time.
That's gonna count. That's a Cat 1.
That happened actually this year.
Okay, how about to take it to Cat 5? That's gonna happen to like 85 people. No, 8,500
At the same
people in
time,
the stands.
oh guys, at the same time, flash mobs are coming back. Okay, and they decided
Oh,
let's do the
yeah.
first flash mob in 5-6 years, and we're gonna do it at the Super Bowl, and they
And we're gonna
all
be-
fall.
That's a lot of
They're
dicks
gonna pretend
to
to
pull
be
out at
players.
the same time.
This has to be cut if later today that actually happens.
Yeah, if a part of the stadium
If this
collapses in a
prediction-
horrible
if this
disaster,
prediction comes
yeah.
true, that absolutely has to be cut.
I hope nothing happens. Jesus.
Could they
Uh,
prosecute
yeah.
an entire section at the Super Bowl if they decided to do a quite literal flash mob and everybody
Yeah.
in the section
pulls their
showed their
yeah.
genitalia at the same time?
Yeah, they absolutely could.
Could they?
That'd be easy AF, dude.
If all like 80,000 people committed a like public nudity crime, I don't think there's enough handcuffs in the city. Like I don't think they could get them all.
We don't have to just go around and handcuff people. That's not the way the criminal justice system works for most people.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You heard it here first. Cat 6, the football's going to come in contact with a reverse quark molecule in midair and turn everyone in the stadium into rubber ducks. It's a big swing.
Whoa.
I want to hear big swings.
Could you imagine?
there is a
Not only
non-zero
like
chance.
something that
Yeah.
crazy coming true, but
Yeah.
like someone predicting it.
Yeah, and it's coming true. And like, I would be fucking Nostradamus.
You get arrested by the
I would get arrested
FBI or like
instantly,
the CIA like within 3 minutes.
How'd you do the ducks thing? Can you do it to our enemies?
They put you in a box, dude, in a
Yeah.
in a stone-walled cell until you told them how you did it. And you
Make
just
the
make
ducks.
stuff up at that point, you know,
Yeah,
when they get to
I
you,
would.
when they really get to you,
I'd be
you
like,
just
I
tell them
used
whatever they
all
want to
my-
know. Yeah.
I used all my duck juice on the Super Bowl. Like I can only do like 80,000 people, and I did it all at once. And that's it. That's all the ducks I got. You
I
gotta
can
let
do
me go.
crows, though. I still have some crow in me.
I could do rubber crows. There's like 6 of those left. I had a phase.
How
I just did the ducks in a big one.
how close to the water is LA Stadium?
Inglewood?
Is
Inglewood, man, I don't know actually. I think it's like
it's South LA. Isn't it?
yeah, it's all the way in the bottom. It's a drive. I'm gonna look up SoFi Stadium. I mean, it's within tidal wave distance. I think.
Oh, the fault? You think it's San Andreas? That's probably the best prediction.
I think like this is
sort
the
of
first time it's closest to the water on this side on the Pacific. I think maybe Godzilla is a football fan, and maybe he comes out of the water
Yeah.
to watch the Rams potentially shit on the Bengals. And he
Yeah.
gets so excited when he sees a touchdown that he jumps up and down, and boom, the whole fault line, Cascadia Fault, San Andreas.
Oh no.
Whoa, double fault.
Yeah.
Godzilla.
Yellowstone at that point. It goes so far it triggers Yellowstone.
And then he's
Then Godzilla's got to protect us.
yeah, from
From whatever
Mothra.
comes out of the
The
fault.
weather. Oh yeah. He's
Mothra.
footballo. Oh, and it's gonna be a giant football.
A
He's gonna
literal
punch him.
giant Cincinnati Bengal.
Ooh, a giant tiger is. I guess that's something.
Yeah. Well, it's not real, but I don't get what you mean by that something.
Well, there's like 80 Godzilla movies, and I think they're running out plot lines. So like, I think it's good that we just kind of get one out there
Tiger.
real quick.
There's a tiger in the volcano and it comes out.
It's a fucking tiger. It's during Super Bowl, it came out. That's the
It
plot.
writes itself.
Could you imagine? I think a Godzilla-sized monsters football comedy movie would be
Pretty
on par with this one.
Godzilla-sized football movie. So it's about fans. Like, are they like betting and like are they?
They're in a really
It's like
fucking
Moneyball.
huge field. Everything's scaled up to their size.
So it's like Godzilla, King Kong, Mothra, and King Ghidorah. They're like trying to put a draft together. Like, oh, this guy, he's a good, cool new prospect. Oh, by the way, I demolished a city by accident. That's a good movie. I do have a Cat 7. It just says Rod Stewart eating a Big Mac. I didn't really.
World War III.
World War III.
Oh, that's actually
another
pretty-
That's a
that's-
cat
yeah, that's
one.
up there.
That's a
That's
cat
up there.
one.
That's a Cat 1 because we're also at a precipice of like another world event right now. Like right now, there's no war, and I hope there's no war where you guys.
Yeah,
are
hopefully we
listening.
can broadcast this still when
Yeah.
it comes time.
So I hope there's nothing there. And then the Olympics seem to be going okay. Like there's a bunch of scandals,
Yeah,
but
the
like
one guy
everything just
hasn't
seems
exploded
to be.
yet.
Oh no.
What?
Okay, so I have another topic because we
Yeah.
talked about this. We're recording this in the morning.
Yeah.
And this morning, actually, I was sitting around eating my breakfast, which was not very long ago, and thinking.
What'd you have?
This is the thing. Thinking about
Oh.
the deli dudes.
Okay.
Because
Favorite
was-
super time heroes.
yeah, I was looking down at my plate and at my cinnamon roll. And I don't know about you guys, but I eat my cinnamon rolls from the outside. And I kind of go in the spiral shape until I
Yeah,
get
because
because I'm a sane person.
you're civilized.
Until
Yeah,
I get to
you're-
the
yeah.
middle, and then I try and leave like a cylinder, like the core, you know? And I was like, this is like a resource. Like one of these is worth more than an entire cinnamon roll because it takes effort to get it out. Like,
A roll core.
It's
yeah.
been-
Like a
yeah, it's
muffin
been-
top, but
This is like
Yeah,
pure. Yeah,
muffin
yeah, yeah. This is like
Okay.
pure. This is like, and I was thinking to myself, this is like Iron Man's core, like the thing in his heart. And I was like, what
Okay.
if there's a superhero who's
That was a gem.
Cinnamon?
Cinnamon.
Cinnamon, and he's got a cinnamon roll core, and he's got this thing,
Yeah.
and he puts it into his chest, and this cinnamon roll like armor like unfurls and covers his body, and then he can like,
it sounds like lettuce
I don't
night
know.
with extra steps.
yeah,
Okay,
But I love it.
maybe part of the you have to have a reason why he has because Tony Stark has that in his core because it's a magnet that keeps the shrapnel away. Maybe he got stabbed and a cinnamon roll saved him, but they can't surgically remove it or something.
Yes.
And
There's the rest of the cinnamon roll, and they could only get the core out. So now when he puts the core in, it makes one cinnamon roll.
What if I'm not trying to take over your idea. What if I'm thinking about the core attracting things?
It's constructive.
What if he had an insane incident with the filling for the cinnamon rolls? So there's just one of the cinnamon roll pop containers shoved into his chest.
He's opening
and it's collecting the cinnamon roll.
He's opening one of the containers, one of the rolls, and you have to like bang on the counter, and it goes pop.
Yeah.
It does that, but it explodes and it shoots into his chest.
That is an incredible injury. You ever have one of those things pop so hard that it shoots through your chest? And so
then you have to get like a special cinnamon roll core, like surgically implanted to stop it from reaching your heart. And then whenever you put the core in, it like unfurls all over your body and makes like this shield of cinnamon roll crust all over your body, and you can like fight.
That's his power. It's like Lettuce Knight.
Sort of.
He creates cinnamon rolls around himself. That's Lettuce Knight. But lettuce.
I think he's just like like the thing. Yeah. He's like covered in cinnamon roll armor.
That could be. That's different enough. Yeah.
That is different enough. And
he's Lettuce Knight's enemy. How about that?
Actually, but yeah. What if just the outside is the crust, and the inside is the cinnamon core? Like when he transforms like the thing.
Because he's a bad guy. He does bad things. But
the thing doesn't
under the armor,
transform.
Under his tough exterior, he just wants to be loved.
Okay, yeah. So could he always be stuck like the crusty cinnamon guy?
No. There's like birds chasing
I
him.
do have a clarification about Lettuce Knight.
Yes.
You have a question about Lettuce Knight? You don't have...
Yeah.
Lettuce Knight's specifically my IP. I have clarifications about Lettuce Knight.
Do you... does he look like a human, or is he covered in lettuce?
Oh, yeah. We don't know that yet.
I thought, Jace, you can correct me. The idea was that he is a man, but then he can activate the lettuce, and it'll cover his body like armor.
I've always imagined just this man made of lettuce.
Yeah, I remember that. Like, there was some distinction between what we were describing and then how you were imagining it. I think the first episode we were like, does he have a lettuce head? Like, is his head?
Yeah, I thought
like a head of
iceberg.
With the Groucho Marx glasses to make him seem like a person. Maybe the Cinnamon can be like a Dr. Jekyll or like a Hulk situation where he gets in a certain mood and he turns into that and starts going crazy.
That's
and, like,
pretty
flipping
good.
Trucks.
That's actually pretty good.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, what if every time he's hungry, so it's like a constant stress. He's like, you won't like me when I'm hungry because I turn into a giant fucking cinnamon roll and I just like could demolish people.
That's actually really good.
And he's in the Cinnabon line and he's like tapping his foot. He's like, oh shit, guys, can I cut in front? Please, I need to get in front. And they're like, no, man, like, fuck off. I'm late for work. And he's like, oh no. And then like the Cinnabon employee looks up and they just see an 18-foot tall Cinnabon man. And he's just like throwing bodies like rag dolls. That's pretty good.
It's actually not bad.
I like it. Keanu Reeves as John Wick could just really easily tie into the deli dudes because he could just like be going for a sandwich, and I think he has the caliber to join a team for an episode.
So a John Wick crossover with the deli dudes would be amazing. His bullets I think would fly straight through Lettuce Knight.
Yeah.
There's not enough lettuce to stop a bullet.
I imagine him just like shooting sheets of lettuce and like gradually slows the bullet down.
So he'd have to be about like a mile away for the lettuce.
Are we
to
imagining
slow down
iceberg lettuce or like not like big leafy lettuce?
Yeah, iceberg.
I thought iceberg because it's funnier because it's like thin sheets, right? Yeah. Like kind of like that goes on a hamburger. I mean John Wick teaming up where he's like, guys, they took my dog again. And I need your guys' help at the deli. And then Professor Bread or whatever his name was, the bread bowl guy. Who was the bread bowl guy? There was a bread guy.
No, the bread guy talks to bread.
He talks.
Yeah, he's psychically talks to bread.
Was he also the guy who can find other deli dudes?
Yeah, through the bread because he can hear like what bread hears around the world. And I think that's how he finds out about Keanu. And then the Russian mobsters are like, "You'll never beat us, John Wick. There's only one of you." And then like the Mayo Man will come through like the sewer grate, and he's like, "Make that 2." And then the lettuce guy will kind of like make that 3. And then There's the salami eyes, and then he kind of drives his car there.
With quick draw.
Quick draw, the rubber band.
And then
guy.
Ball Man
Wait,
just
quick-
shows up.
Why is the rubber band shooter man in the place with the guns? They're like, quick draw. Thank God, you're probably good at shooting, right? Here's a gun.
He's like,
I don't want to use this.
Guys, I don't want to use. I can't use.
I'll
a
use
gun.
the rubber bands. No,
I'm gonna
God,
use-
this.
I brought a whole pack of rubber bands.
how powerful are his rubber bands? Like,
He can. Well, he's just a normal dude, but he's just really good with them. Like Bullseye from Daredevil. That was the whole thing.
yeah,
But so I have no strength. So the most damage you can do with a flinging rubber band is the eyeball. I think.
This is exactly why he was really mostly used for the lobsters.
yeah.
Yeah.
To
So it
rubber
was
band
the
their
one
claws. This one thing. It's the
situation.
one time they're like, I know this. You're not gonna believe it. I know the perfect dude for this. Oh, shitstorm. We forgot about shitstorm.
Shitstorm would end the conflict.
And every conflict.
Because when he drops in like a SpaceX lander, spraying shit on the ground, it's like, and he like lands, and he's like, make that not, and then they've already gotten in their cars,
Guys?
and they're like,
Did we
like as soon as
discuss
they saw the shit raining?
how Shitstorm got his powers? Was he the
Yeah, so-
janitor in the deli, and then like one of those customers comes in that takes a crap all over the toilet, and he like is going to clean it, like, oh, and he slips and he falls and he hits.
I thought he ate like a bodega clam or something.
Oh,
Briefly, the Large Hadron Collider in Sweden leaked some of its material. A cow ate it. He ate a piece of the deli meat from that cow, and it opened a portal in the shit dimension inside his butthole.
That's right,
And
the
that's why
portal.
that portal opens, and the shit dimension opens. It's a dimension full of only shit, and it comes
we've
out.
got the largest swing from our
This is a
rubber
good
band
recap.
hero to literal shitstorm.
He's a god. Like he would.
The shitstorm's a
Imagine
god.
if he was a villain, right? Because like he could rule the world. He could just be like, you literally have to give me whatever I ask for.
Because I will rain shit on your town. Literally, I can do that. I mean, you can have a scene where someone's like, "Does it hurt when the shit comes out?" Like every time, kind of like Wolverine. The scene in Wolverine.
Yeah,
Then
He's like,
then why do you
"Every
use to fly so often?
it's
the best
convenient.
way.
I don't like blinds.
It sucks. I mean, yeah, like he's kind of like he would be the Captain Marvel, I think, of the deli dudes.
Oh
where you
yeah,
can't
that's a
just
really
have
good
him
comparison.
in there all the time because Captain Marvel's so OP. And so you would have to have Shitstorm kind of show up. He's like, "Oh, sorry, I was blasting around the universe, saving planets."
And that's
now
the
I'm here.
plot hole in the new Spider-Man too.
Oh, no spoilers. I can't. I haven't
Well,
seen
you know
Spider-Man
what
yet.
the premise is.
Peter is a silly boy, and he's like, "Oh, gee, Mr. Stark, I can't be Spider-Man." And I don't know. I don't know the premise.
Like a world ending, right? Like that's the whole thing. They don't call in the other superheroes. And at one point, Spider-Man even suggests this. Like, why don't we just
Yeah.
call the superheroes? And Doctor
Oh.
Strange is like, nah, I don't really want to.
I guess for our movies, we can't have Shitstorm in every theater because some people are not going to like the character. Like they
Well,
can't.
some
we can't
people
have
should
it in
not go
every-
to our freaking movies. Let's weed them
Some
out
people-
early, I think.
Yeah.
So have the first movie be like the Iron Man for Shitstorm.
Oh, you mean like we're not starting like the Avengers. We're
No,
starting
they're
like
building a
Iron
franchise.
Man. We're phase 1.
We're phase 1.
So are we doing phase 1 where each individual superhero has its own movie and then they team up for like an Avengers?
Yeah, like the Defenders, Avengers, like the CW, DC show, like that stuff. Like I think people like that. Maybe Cineman. I think someone more accessible.
We got to start with the meat hooker.
the meat.
Oh, the meat
That's-
hooker's
I
the
forgot
bad
about
guy,
the meat
though, I
hooker.
thought.
Yeah.
What? No, he's the guy that moves the meat around from to slice in the deli.
Yeah, we need to clarify that every time. He uses meat hooks to move meat around. It's.
I think
that's
that
why he's
scene
called
with the
meat
Russians opens with him hanging down from his feet from the ceiling, stabbing a Russian dude through the shoulder. The guy's like, "What the fuck?" And then he gets pulled up into the darkness.
Like
Hooker. That's a
Batman.
good scene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Where
meat.
are you? It's like I'm here. It's
Oh, I'm just right above you. I'm holding your guy.
hello. I didn't want to
I'm in the
frighten
meat
you.
This is where I work. I'm in the meat freezer all day.
They call me the meat hooker, but okay, it's kind of just I have a hook. Do you get it?
Pretty good. Does he have a costume?
Uh,
Is it-
I just think a trench coat would be hilarious. Like the slicker. And
Slicker Man.
That's where we came up with it. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
This
I was
episode is not going to make any sense to anybody who has not seen every single one of our Deli Dudes
we
episodes.
recapped the
I
Deli
think we've been
Dudes.
pretty,
you've been
inclusive.
pretty consistent. Right. Like,
Yeah.
it'd be weird for someone to jump in on the replacements
Yeah.
and not have seen
let's-
a Deli Dudes episode.
Let's face it, the person who jumps in on the replacements is going to be a certain type of person, and I think that person's also going to love the Deli Dudes.
And they're going to jump in, right? Yeah, they're going to get it on board. Oh, I get it.
You're
Yeah.
like, oh, fuck yeah, yeah.
Lobster Hurricane? What's that?
Well, Lobster Hurricane's going to come in where, like, the Deli Dudes are beaten down by the mob, and they're like, you can't beat us. And Keanu's like, no, but I know who can.
Yeah, but
and then
he
that's
can.
when the lobsters, I guess, fall from space, and then just
No,
Hell.
that's the third lobster. They crawl
It's
out of the ocean in the first one.
They're flung
the
out of
ocean.
the ocean in the first one.
Oh, I thought they were
Okay.
invading.
Ah, fuck. Okay,
I thought
the
they
first
were
Lobster
irradiated
Hurricane-
by the hurricane. It wasn't.
There's 6 movies of the Lobster Wars. Then there is when the lobsters come out. Then they get blasted into space. And then there's a couple movies where they rain down from space.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's another scenario. Here's yet another city where they get
My
frozen
favorite
lobsters.
one is where the lobsters are like space debris, and it's like the whole movie like Gravity.
And it's just nothing's different except the lobsters the space debris. Sir, we have 900,000 floating lobsters circling the Earth at the moment. It's about to hit the ISS. And they're trying to think of like technical ways to get around the lobsters.
The shit to that is, and I think we might have talked about it before, literally a nut or a bolt
Mhm.
traveling around in orbit, if it touched the ISS, would blow the whole thing to absolute shit. So
Well, yeah, there's
9,000
some real-
lobsters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No satellites anymore if you had that many lobsters in space.
But they'd be
Thankfully,
perfectly
like-
cooked re-entry.
Thankfully, it would be pretty rare for their orbits to line up unless they're on like the exact same plane, right?
Depends on how many lobsters. I was thinking it depends on how many lobsters are out there. But yeah, also
takes
if they're,
one, I guess. You're
if
right,
they're
it just takes
Geo
one.
or Leo.
They since it's 900,000 lobsters blown up there by a hurricane, I think they'll have enough spread where I think they'll
Yeah.
hit most things and then re-enter. So we have that established. That's pretty good. You guys excited for the new Batman movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, when is
Coming
it
out March 4th. And
It's good timing for our bat season.
yeah, I'm gonna make a prediction. I mean, first of all, it's a 3-hour runtime, so we have that for the new Batman that's coming out.
Holy shit.
I'm predicting maybe a low 80s Rotten Tomato score, certified fresh, maybe 82%. I think, just judging by the trailers, that's gonna be my take.
Are you
I think
just
I'm gonna
addicted
like.
to predicting? Is that what's going on?
I'm addicted to predicting because this is our future episode.
Prediction
It's like-
addiction.
yeah, we're on the prep use of precipice. Prep use is the tip of a penis. Precipice of a great moment.
I'm gonna say that what was the Rotten Tomato score on first of the Christian Bale Batmans?
Oh, Batman Begins. Let me see. I think it did pretty well, right?
Rotten Tomatoes is probably really high.
84. That's
Oh.
solid.
I think
Solid.
it's gonna
What 60%
swing
of people
for the
didn't like Batman
fences,
Begins?
and it's gonna
Mhm.
take it over. I think it's gonna get a 93.
Wow. 93 for the first 3-hour Batman movie. That would be incredible.
Well, I think you might have some I think Jason might be right, just because it sounds like it's a big swing.
Yeah.
But at this point, you might get a lot of like comic book superhero movie fans who show up and will just like the movie no matter what. It's not like look, I feel like kind of when Batman Begins came out, it came out in like an era where this has to be somewhat of a normal movie to like be liked by a lot of people, right?
Yeah. But in
Pre-Iron
Jason's
Man.
defense, like the comic book fans can be the biggest haters in the world too.
Well,
And
yeah,
then
it'll
again-
have some troll reviews.
I don't think Paul Dano's been in a movie that's sub 90% on Rotten
Oh
Tomatoes.
my god, that guy is so fucking good.
And he's the Riddler in this movie. So like
I think
it
Looper
could
is
hit the
one, yeah.
90s. You got Alfred Serkis, Andy Serkis. Andy
Alfred
Serkis is Alfred
Serkis.
Pennyworth. Alfred Serkis.
This is Dad. He's pretty good. He's not as good as his son.
I would have thought that there was still some hesitancy to go to movie theaters, and I was completely wrong because Spider-Man No Way
Spider-Man
Home
killed it.
opened up with $260 million.
Dear God. Oh, the new Uncharted movie's coming out February 18th.
I'm secretly hyped
Are
for
we just
that.
talking about
Which I'm
new
not. I'm
movies
not.
coming out
I'm
now?
not secretly
Oh,
hyped
it's
for
just-
it because
it's-
I just said it.
Yeah.
I'm hyped for it.
You're hyped for it. I think it's gonna be fucking terrible, but it's not gonna be Tom Holland's fault. I'm gonna see it though, because I love the Uncharted games. Marky Mark's in there. He's like, we gotta find the artifact. Tom Holland, we gotta find the artifact. What are we gonna do? We're out here in the Aztec ruins. Oh, gee, Mark. How am we gonna get out of this one? I'm young Nathan Drake. What do you mean, how are we gonna get out of this one? Nathan? Has anyone got anything?
No, I was just seeing how long you could do it.
I could reenact that.
It's like
Nathan, we gotta...
it's like a dungeon master having to role play between two non-player characters. Denali.
We gotta find the golden papaya. We gotta find the golden papaya. Oh, gee, Mark, shouldn't we not take it? I don't know if we should be here, Mark. What do you mean we don't be here? We came all this way to get the golden papaya.
Yeah, they're blending together.
I look.
They're gonna meet at Convergent if we.
Good. There was one sentence in there as Tom Holland that actually sounded really, really good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to act against nothing. Like I need something to act against.
Well, this is your bit.
One of
so
you guys,
that's kind of
can you guys at least step up to the plate? Like Jason,
I'm tired of talking
actor.
about what movies are about to come out.
I started reading a new acting book.
Oh, what's it called?
Tony Barr's Acting for the Camera.
Okay, give us something from Uncharted.
I'm flying the plane. Do you want to jump out now?
Damn, that was so good. Fuck. Oh, gee, I don't know if I should jump out. What are you talking about? It's just a plane. It's just a plane in the air. What's your name, pilot?
If you don't jump out now, you'll miss the golden papaya.
Oh, gee, I'm gonna jump. Wait, I think that's too too much. That's too much Morty. I think I'm just doing a Morty.
Which is kind of.
Oh, gee, Rick.
You went straight for a pretty American accent for Tom Holland, which kind of.
You think he's gonna go British?
I think he's gonna go more his own accent as opposed to the. I would hope that he does. Maybe I don't know. It's kind of weird that I've really only been subjected to him in American English accent.
He's like, oh, g'day, I'm gonna steal the golden papaya. Yeah, I'm Nathan Drake. I'm Nathan fucking Drake.
Ryan?
What's your Nathan Drake?
Ryan?
Hello, I'm from London. I'm Nathan Drake. You got any treasure over there?
Nathan, you gotta keep your voice down.
What?
there's
Is
people all over
is that the Queen?
We're supposed to be stealing
Queenie.
treasure.
Oh,
Stop.
fish and
Nathan,
chips,
please.
Queenie. Would you want a
We're gonna-
pint? Have you had your spot of tea?
That's good. This is Uncharted. It's gonna be good.
Not offensive at all.
Not offensive. The games are literally him dropping into like South America and just like shooting all the people. That's like, I'm wondering how they're gonna handle this movie. Like, is it gonna be other British treasure hunters that are gonna be shooting at? Because like in the games, I feel a little uncomfortable sometimes, where it's just like, oh, I'm the only white guy. I'm shooting all these.
It's like literally like imperialism.
It's literally, the British. Maybe they shouldn't have picked Tom Holland to play
It's like
him.
Uncharted. By what? By white people? Like we've lived here for 30,000 years. This is our home. There's entire
We have a fucking
cities.
city.
We have government. We have written language. What are you talking about? Charted. Want to see our charts?
We have the internet too. Like people know. Like
That looks like
are you
Gabagoo
fucking
to
idiot?
me. I don't know what that.
I don't fucking read. You think I look like a guy who reads?
I went to school in London. That's like one of the funniest things is that when the pilgrims got here, one of the people who greeted them had been to London.
One of the natives?
Yeah.
He was just like, yeah, I know who you guys are.
Yeah, he was speaking in English to them because he had been to London.
Oh, great new country. You guys fucking idiots? Like,
He's like,
Yeah, I
hey,
think it's funny.
yeah, guys, what's up? I'm Joe.
We left London because they were persecuting our religion. We don't like them over there. Like, oh fuck, we caught the bad ones.
you guys like Jesus, right? I think it's funny how I read that Tom Holland and Timothy Chalamet are like, they're the only, like, the new hot young male actor right now, because there's not a lot for some reason at this point in time. That I think they said they compete for the same roles. Like I heard they were both in the running for Willy Wonka. They're like Timothy Chalamet or Tom Holland. And like I think that was also the case for Uncharted and for Dune. And they also have that like Zendaya connection. She's the love interest between both of them in separate movies. And I feel like, do you think they hate each other?
No, I think they're buds.
You think they're buds?
I think that's yeah.
I don't know anything extra outside of Dune, really, or about Timothée Chalamet, about his personality, so I can't comment.
He's great and Don't Look Up.
Oh, it's fucking hilarious.
He's great in a lot. Like, when they audition, are they both, like, having them read? Like, Timothée Chalamet's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna read this thing. And he's like, oh, gee, I don't know what to do, Mr. Stark. And then, Tom Holland goes on, and he's just like, oh, I can't be the Kwisatz Haderach, geez. Oh, man, I don't know how to take over a planet. You kidding me?
Your child character voice is surprisringly good.
Does it sound like Tom Holland?
No.
Yeah, it's very Morty.
Is it very Morty? Damn it! I keep going Morty. How am I? Okay, look, I'm trying to be like a Hollywood Spider-Man. And I gotta have the Tom Holland.
The thing is, it's not the voice. You're just sinking into the Morty idiosyncrasy. The right word. You're
saying oh geez.
You're falling in the oh geez, Rick. Oh gee. No, I don't want that. So what's something he says definitely in Spider-Man?
Hey, I'm Spider-Man.
Hey guys, I'm Spider-Man. Damn, I did it again. I don't think I should be Spider-Man.
Oh, that was.
Huh? Is that something?
You started kind of the start of your sentence was kind of like teetering on. Oh, if you got rid of that line was nearly perfect.
Oh, hey, MJ. I don't think I should be Spider-Man anymore.
That's not bad.
I'm Peter Parker.
I'm amazed. Are you clenching your butt cheek? Are you doing your coach's technique where you're clenching your butt right now to get this high?
I am a little bit. I've been taking a singing class. I haven't said that on air yet, but I've been taking a community college singing class, vocal performance through Zoom, and I've been practicing. I can do some voices. And briefly, Timothée Chalamet. I'm Spider-Man. I'm fucking Spider-Man. That's Timothée.
Again, I've never heard him talk in anything but the two movies I've seen him in, so I'm very confused.
My chin's so pointy, guys. It's so pointy. One time someone fling a beach ball at my face, and it popped because it hit my chin. I hear the wind whistle when it goes by my cheekbones because it's so sharp. I'm a sharp man. That's why I couldn't be Spider-Man. It always tore the mask. Should we talk about the movie?
Yeah, I think.
Yes, please.
I think we need to talk about the movie now.
It's been an hour.
We've spent an hour on worse content.
That's why I love these Mordic episodes, because the other one we did was Leprechaun, and had the same vibe where we were like, you don't have the bullshit of the day floating around, so it's just like fresh, also slightly still waking up brains. I don't know, something about it. Ryan, you have the synopsis for The Replacements, the movie.
Oh, I do?
That we haven't talked about.
Okay, so it's my turn for the synopsis. This week, as we probably mentioned, an hour ago, where we watched The Replacements. It's a movie, apparently.
About mints.
Stolen mints.
Replace mints now. You ate them all.
From 2000, aka the peak of
the dark years
comedy.
The dark ages, the social dark ages.
Starring Keanu Reeves, of course. Let's not get that confused. And Gene Hackman as an old man who got paid a lot of money to be in about 4 scenes that were all shot on the same day. Let's be very clear. And Brooke Langton is an actress that I was not familiar with, and a few other character actors that are a football team. Okay, let's get this straight. They're a football team who comes in to replace an actual professional NFL team when the players' union goes on strike in the NFL. So the movie The Replacements, this was not overtly clear. There was not a lot of expository dialogue. They are scabs, essentially. That's what you would call it. They're filling in for workers who are on strike. And the workers are just play professional sports, because this is a thing. That's pretty much the plot. I am not joking. That's the source of every bit of strife. Keanu Reeves plays a washed up never was quarterback who famously flubbed it in the Sugar Bowl and did not get picked by an NFL team back in the day. So he's literally taken from the boat. This is not like an appropriate joke. He was taken from his boat to the field, and he plays football. A bunch of other funny players who, like, they each have one quirk wrong with them, right? Because this is the whole thing. It's like, you know, this guy is funny because he's not white. And this guy's funny because he's a different type of not white person. And we're just going to make jokes over and over about the fact that they're different.
Whoa, okay. You're not wrong. But
Hey,
you're
this
supposed
sounds
to
like
be
a review.
giving a
Neutral
review of the movie to start
Those are
with.
things that happen, though. Those
Yeah,
are things.
those are things that
literally.
happen.
They're like, look at how funny not white people are.
Yeah, okay.
Saying
Yeah, exactly.
the movie is about a football team
Yeah.
is enough
Yes.
to talk about the players
Yes. Okay.
before we rip on
Yes.
it.
Yes. And then Keanu Reeves meets the head cheerleader who's recruiting scab
Uh-oh.
cheerleaders. Am I right that like the cheerleaders also went on strike?
I think
They
so.
should, because she said they get paid $50 a game.
Yeah.
Like, they should at least get paid.
It's real
yeah,
life
like-
might be worse than this game, man. It's disgusting what they go through.
So I get why maybe they would go on strike as well.
And Keanu Reeves falls in love, of course. And yeah, they do surprisingly well. They win a couple games, and the rest of the movie is about the team playing football, playing ball. And guys, don't forget, pain heals, chicks dig scars, but glory lasts forever.
All right, nice synopsis. There's a lot probably to be said about this movie. Have you guys seen this before? Like, is
Yes.
this all fresh? Okay,
I think
fresh take for me.
I think
Yeah.
it's fresh enough for me. I might have seen scenes from this. This might have been one of those on TV at 3 in
It's
the
on TV,
afternoon
yeah, quite a bit,
movies
yeah.
that maybe I
Middle
saw
school.
some of.
This
but-
was something that was on FX, I think, once a month for a while. And I've seen bits and pieces. Like, I specifically remember the I Will Survive jailhouse scene. That was like something I remember seeing a few times, which I enjoyed that scene. To talk about Keanu in this movie, a bit of a weird part of his career, right? Like, this is post-Matrix. He's 36, and he's playing a 25-year-old football player because they said he flubbed the 1995 Sugar Bowl. This was in 2000. So he played some 5 years out of college.
He was
Yeah, that's pretty
35 in the
good.
Matrix?
Yeah, he was 35. He was born in
Wow.
64.
Okay.
Looks great. Looks
Huh.
fucking amazing. Like
Yeah, how did his hair get so
Wow.
long? In the
I think this was a year after the Matrix.
Yeah. Wow, I
So I
didn't
think
put that
he grew
together.
up.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was looking for the wig, Jace, because I was okay, this dude, but it looked
His
real.
hair
I think
grows.
it was real. It looks great. Great fucking
Yeah.
hair in this movie. He put on 23 pounds for this role. He's trying to bulk up a little bit.
Well,
look-
can we talk about that a little bit, or should we
Yeah,
wait for the
go
meter?
ahead,
But,
go ahead, Ryan.
oh,
Yeah, no.
man.
Yeah.
Homie hit the gym.
yeah, he was looking pretty good.
He looked great, yeah. And he was 36 years old, I think, in this movie. And I didn't, I don't know if I don't know if I would have bought it if they were like, and here's 24-year-old Shane Falco coming, but he looked like someone who was weathered.
Yeah.
I don't think he
I
was
do have
super
a
out of
note
place,
about this
yeah.
too, where normally, at least maybe post Matrix, he plays an older, stoic, kind of like a wise figure. And in this, I guess in a way he's wise, but he's supposed to be the young, incomplete person who's mentored towards success. And I thought that was really funny because within the last, few years, he's playing things like Johnny Mnemonic and other really absolutely ridiculous things. Even in the Matrix, he's he's the student.
Yeah. No, I just think it's a strange role for him because I think he's just a tad, I think, a little too old for the type of role he's playing. Even though if you take everything away, it might fit. But it's just, I was kind of scratching my head. I'm like, what is the age range for these guys? Because they all seem like they should be in their 30s and 40s, which seems
Yeah.
too old for.
They have to be,
playing
number one, they have to be a
crazy sports.
successful actor.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
They need to not be, because that's the thing. It's like if you're in their 20s, you can play off a high school student.
Yeah.
But in this, they're post high school, they're adults. But they're supposed to be
They could be old men. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to be old enough to where you look like a 20-year-old, I guess, which in Hollywood, that's in your 30s.
Roundabout to this, I
Mhm.
sent a message to you guys saying that you should watch Coda. And in that movie, the main character, the lead role, she's 19 in real life. And in the movie, you see her friend, and you're like, that's a gross miscasting of somebody that is much older because they're seniors in high school.
Really?
Her best friend is like a 26 or a 27-year-old in real life, and you can. It's like the same situation as this. I did not know that Keanu Reeves was even 36 when he did The Matrix, even though obviously linear time has passed since he was in Bill and Ted in the 80s. So,
of course, yeah. I mean, this is that middle period where he seemingly didn't age in a significant way. Like, I can tell he looks a little different, but it's like he could be cast, I think, comfortably in a lot of different age ranges for a long time. Like, now I think he's reaching the point where it's like, okay, he's in a little bit of the like maybe legacy stage where he's going to be more the mentor, where he's like, you all know who this is. You know, he carries the baggage of that.
I like the stoic introduction of his character because it feels like what we're used to now, where he didn't really care about going back to football. He's like, I just want to drink a beer on my boat, dude.
And that is such a Keanu vibe. Yeah. Like, it's very zen. He's scraping barnacles, living the simple life. And even when they come up to him, he's like, I'm retired. Fuck off.
Can we talk? That intro scene was.
Yeah.
I forgot about it until just now. The introductory diving scene where he dives under his boat and scrapes the barnacles and then finds the football trophy, which was it his?
Yeah,
I think it was
his name on it, which was strange.
Threw it overboard, yeah.
And then he plays football underwater. That was one of, I think, the most creative shots we've seen in a while.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, it was more creative than anything in Speed. From
I think I had a different...
From like a movie writing perspective, right? Like, Speed is just like, okay, we got to shoot this elevator scene, and we got to shoot a bus scene, and then we got to shoot this big train scene. And this movie is like, we don't have to do this. You know, like, this has absolutely nothing to do with the movie, but that's exactly what making a movie should do. It's not just like, you shouldn't only shoot essential things. You should also shoot things that like make you learn a little bit more about the character and about the world.
Yeah. It was an interesting intro. I think my notes was like, why is this scene here? Like, maybe just for me, like, I thought it was kind of a goofy.
Yeah, if this was a 2.5 hour long movie, you'd be like, get this scene out of there. We need to cut this.
Yeah, I mean, not the worst thing in this movie. Like, I mean,
I think it's one of the only okay things in this movie. Now that I think about it, he threw his trophy overboard. He was done with football. And then if there's any actual character development anywhere at all, it's literally just Keanu in this comedy movie, and that's probably the only thing about it that is okay.
Well, sure. I mean, if we're talking positives, we can say that. And then a great cast. You know, you got Gene Hackman, you got Orlando Jones, Jon Favreau. Who else is in? Oh, there was Keith David, randomly as a throwaway character. The role. Arbiter himself, with 2 lines. They hired the dude who did the voice of the Arbiter, and he was in what was he in? He was in a couple John Carpenters, wasn't he? The Thing.
He's in The Thing, yeah. He's in.
They Live.
There's something about Mary.
I haven't seen that one. But they had a lot of killer actors in this movie. David Denman was Andy from The Office.
Is Brett Cullen Two-Face? Way to bring that back.
You're thinking of very similar looking.
He's in Batman.
He's in Batman 3.
Yeah, because the guy who plays Two-Face in Rises. Aaron Eckhart, because we talked about Aaron Eckhart because he has the reverse Ben Affleck chin.
Reverse Ben Affleck,
and it could fit in his other chin. They saying that the chins could fit in together. I think we talked about that in the Paycheck episode.
That's like one half of the Da Vinci Code. As soon as you put them together, it's going to be a message that's written across their faces.
Yeah,
from the profile, and that's like to I don't know where I'm going with this. Some treasure, some Uncharted.
It would be like, make a sequel to the Ben Affleck Batman movie.
This is another Cat 6 prediction. They will both end up at the Super Bowl, and their chins will collide, and the field will open up, and a mighty golden statue will arise from days gone past.
That's the only one that I want actually to happen.
I do want that to happen. I think at least a Super Bowl commercial where they're both eating Tostitos. And like, hey, you ever notice their chins fit together?
Want to make out?
It's not. It's just the chins, man. Like, you know how the Tostitos fit together? Like, they fit together. And you know what else fits together? Our chins.
What fit
Yeah.
together?
Our chins.
No, what about the
Tostitos fit together.
Like, are those the cone ones, right?
They make the scoops, don't they? They make the Tostito scoops, and they fit together.
Oh.
what?
I'm trying to market here. Like, I'm
Are
not
there
like a
chips
marketing
with, like,
major.
I
Yeah.
think
that
he's
are
saying
puzzle
they're
pieces?
bowl-shaped.
They're bowl shaped. They fucking stack.
Oh,
right?
like they stack.
Yeah. So like one side of the bowl is Aaron Eckhart's chin, and the other side of the bowl is Ben Affleck's
Denali,
cavernous butt chin.
You have a direct contact with someone who storyboards commercials. Dear
Yes.
God, write that up and pitch it. Get us on
need the
set
checks.
for when it
They need the
happens.
checks. They also
I'm
have
like,
2 people from the new Spider-Man movie in this movie.
In this movie,
John,
Really?
yeah, John Favreau and Rice Ifans. However you say that, the kicker.
He's in it.
Yeah, he's a
Guy
lizard.
from Wales. He's the lizard.
He's a lizard.
Wow.
He's Dr. Connors.
Yeah.
Huh. That's an interesting choice. Reese Fons, the Welshman. Is he from Wales? I couldn't tell from the movie.
Um.
From
He
every
is.
scene being like,
Yeah.
I'm from Wales. I fucking kicked the ball and chased the chase.
Also,
movie is
it
funny.
makes a lot more sense watching this movie now than a child because I didn't know what Wales was for like
Yeah.
until a year ago.
I still don't know what Wales is, technically speaking, besides
Yeah,
a
I don't
place.
know where it is. It's a place. It's west of London, and they get really mad when you mix them up.
Like if the UK was a person, the Wales is like the belly.
I learned about it when we watched Bloody New Year, and I learned that was filmed.
Yeah, we shit
it's
on
the reason.
Wales for.
The Welsh don't like our show. That's already been established.
But the English like it because we don't like the Welsh.
Except
See,
for
so we're
maybe
trade-off,
the
and
London
it's a bigger market.
voice thing.
Oh,
They don't like that.
Yeah. See, it's a trade-off.
They don't like people from Cornwall like the show too.
Yeah, Scots probably.
Scots, they like the show.
Guy,
You guys-
John Madden, too.
John
The
Madden was in this
legend.
movie.
Yeah, went
He
up
was
to the big
funny,
homie
like,
in the sky though.
Yeah. He was drawing like those diagrams, like where he was like scribbling all over the page, and he was saying like the Maddenisms,
Yeah.
where he's like, they always say in football, don't do something great if you can't handle the congratulations. And like, do they say that? He's like, yeah. Like that's such a John Madden thing, I feel.
This movie might have like the most amount of actors and people in it who have passed away from the movies we've watched. That's kind of a weird note to
Really?
make, but I know that Michael Taliaferro, Ace Onamine, John Madden.
We watch a lot of old movies. Like I think probably more of those people.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe
Which
in, like,
ones?
Days of Confused.
We watched the oldest movie we watched was probably what from the 80s, maybe Bloody New Year.
No,
'Cause that was
Days of Confused.
Days and Confused is from the 90s.
What?
Are you
Oh, that's right, 'cause
literally
Ben's
the
in it.
plot?
It's
Are you
just
thinking the
set
plot?
in the 70s. See, I really am the market audience for movies because I can't keep them straight.
That's perfect.
Even Bill and Ted, which, okay, so is Bloody New Year is the oldest movie?
I think
think
81.
so.
I think that's the oldest we've gotten so far.
I bet.
Well, I guess Halloween was that year, yeah.
Yeah, I think that is the oldest. We got to go older, man. We should be watching movies from like the 20s.
Well,
Like, I
we're
think
watching
that'd be
people that
fun.
are in their 40s now, dude.
Yeah, that's true. We should just, when we do a Robert Redford season, I think we can kind of hit those older ones. That's gonna be a huge season.
Robert Redford.
There was a scene in this movie. Speaking of positives, where Brooke Langton, who plays Annabelle in the movie, the love interest of Keanu, she's working in the bar. There's a bar scene where it's kind of a little electric between them. You're feeling a little bit of romance.
Oh, will they, won't they?
Will they, won't they? And she's kind of wiping the table, and then she knocks a glass over, and she's like, "Oh, dick, sorry." And she picks it up and kind of keeps going, kind of rolls the punches. And in that moment, I was like, "Oh, that's good improv." And I liked that scene. I like when people improv, and that reminds me, Ryan, of when you said that in high school. Like I think I mentioned it before. Like we were watching Of Mice and Men in high school in like sophomore year in class, and there's a scene where this guy in his like house. He's like an old man. And he's like, "Oh, I always liked that stuff." And he like knocks over like a bunch of cups and shit. He's like, "Oh no, jeez!" And he like puts it back up. And he's like, "Anyways," and you're like, "Oh, good improv." And I looked it over, and I thought that was so funny because I didn't think about it in the movie. But now every time I see someone knock over a glass, I think about the improv.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, you said that. You're like, "Oh, good improv." When he like picked the glass, because he acted with the scene. He's like, "Oh, I'm such a frail old man. I knocked."
Do you remember moments of your life in this amount of detail?
Yeah, it's completely selective.
because I have no fucking clue what you're talking about. Was this in what was this, in English class or something?
Yeah, it was an English class, probably Mrs. Taylor's class.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, that was fun. You guys like anything else about this movie?
Physical comedy in it was actually great and well choreographed. Like the football scenes, from being a football fan, from watching football.
Yeah.
While there were some missteps, they were actually like one of the worst things is seeing a player, I mean, in any sport, even playing ultimate, is seeing somebody get hurt, especially just like Frisbee, because it's it's for fun. We're not getting paid. So watching somebody get hurt is even worse when you are talking about somebody whose job is on the line. So there was a player in the movie who was washed up. He had his first year and he had a significant knee injury and he was taken out of the league, and he's one of the replacements. And through this whole comedy movie, one of the scenes that I jived with the most was he scores his first touchdown, and he told Keanu that's all he wants to do. He says, I want to score a touchdown in front of people before my jersey's put away forever. And he gets it. He gets a sick play, and you're like, it's one of the times in the movie where you're like, yeah, go, go, go. And he tries to hurdle over somebody, and they really like show it, like the impact, like boom, he gets hit in the knee. And there was a significant payoff from the introduction of his character.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. Jace, you might have touched on my main theme for this movie. Like, if I had to watch this movie and then say like what I would learn from watching it, if I'm not just doing this for fun, I would say that setting up characters' uniqueness and giving each character some sort of like overarching purpose to be in the movie. Like this guy, obviously you just perfectly explained what his purpose was. But it didn't come off like that for like maybe the casual viewer who might not be paying too much attention, right? Yeah. So like a little bit more focus in that moment about like, oh, remember we had this conversation in the past? Don't you, like, reminding the viewer, oh yeah, that's right, it's the same guy. Especially because, like we just talked about, they have helmets on. It's hard to recognize each individual person. Mm-hmm. And like in some ways this was written in where, oh, these two players don't like each other. Maybe there's a race thing going on between the two players. And by the end of the movie, they're pals. Or, remember how they flipped the guy's car over and over and over, and then the two guys show up, the teammates, and they're like, we're good teammates now, I'll help you out. That sort of thing was written into the movie, but it wasn't executed very well, to the point where by the end you're like, oh man, this is great. I love this movie. It's such a feel-good story for this reason and this reason. They all have their second chances. There was a couple moments where they were like, remember, this is your second chance. This is a redemption story. But like, apart from the characters literally saying, this is my redemption story, nothing about the filming of this movie told you that it was a redemption story. There was no focus on that. It was just like sometimes people would be in the background of the movie having their like moment.
It was
and you'd be like,
level for a
yeah,
lot.
you're like, who is that? Oh, those guys back there are friends now. It was really strange.
Yeah, I get what you're saying there too. Like it seemed like everything was spread out and they didn't focus in like they should. But Jace, I do agree. Like the football scenes and some of the payoffs, I think were entertaining. Like I was towards the end, the last football scene especially, I was invested. I was like, oh, I want to see how this shakes down. Like, because I know it's going to shake down, but I still want to see it. If we're getting into criticisms, we can begin that portion. Mm-hmm. I think this movie was written by an 80-year-old man. It's just like all of the jokes, or not all of them, but a lot of the jokes seem to be kind of race-based or like, look how funny this culture is. A lot of the jokes are like, look how sexy these ladies and how horny these guys are. There's a couple jokes where people sexually harass a female reporter, and that's supposed to make them lovable. Oh, look how crazy these guys are. And that stuff, I think, represents we said this earlier, kind of an ugly part of American culture, I think, especially in the 2000s, especially now. And it's also bullshit anti-union propaganda, I think, for this movie as well.
Yeah. So that's the thing, too, is like, this movie could be 100% could be made right now. Like you could remake this movie and change almost nothing, but just change the tone of how everything is presented, and you could keep almost every single joke. Like even the insensitive race jokes. Like now, if you remember, we talked about this a lot of times. Like it's all about how the audience perceives the characters. When I'm watching this movie, I'm like, okay, the movie thinks that this guy making the race joke is funny.
Yeah.
Like now you could make this movie where the person making the race joke is insensitive and he's outcasted because he made this race joke. Like the same with the sexual assault in the locker room. Like,
Yeah.
it could be like, hey, that's not okay. You know, this is a different world now, yada, yada. And like the audience would be like, oh, that's right. Okay, this guy really should not be doing this.
Right.
But when I'm watching this movie in its world, I'm like, oh, I guess I should. They want me to laugh at this. And so I think the you guys did a really good job pointing out the union part too, right? Because the owner is, in our world, 2022, we would call him a boomer.
Yeah.
And he's got big boomerisms, big boomer takes about how the next generation is always entitled. And I'm literally a billionaire, and these people are whining over
millions.
$1 million, and therefore their babies.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, is like that could be presented right now in a way is like, you freaking tone deaf, you know, billionaire, just give them the money. Like, you're helping these people out. Just give them the money. Like, but in this movie, it was totally like, these guys are in the wrong for wanting better pay and more rights. Like, so it, in a way, I don't hate this movie because it's so close.
I think
That's really interesting. Yeah, go ahead, Jace.
that was the biggest thing for me at the very beginning of this movie, was that in light of the fact that the NFL and NFL owners take millions and millions and millions, up to billions of dollars of money from regular Americans, and then they're like, why would this guy who's putting his life on the line, who can play football for 3 years, want an extra few $1 million? And it's kind of crazy even for us. It's like, from having the step from taking like a normal person's salary to an athlete's salary, those people, as crazy it is, they're not going to make that money forever. They might be able to switch into commentary, but they're also destroying their body. This movie was in 2000. I have no idea if the concussion, I think it was in the late 90s that like we started paying attention to concussions for athletes. But they talked about that multiple times for Keanu, where he's like, oh, he got 3 concussions in one game.
Yeah.
They're going to be fucked up when they're 50.
Yeah. I mean, now I don't think CTE was in the lexicon until like just a few years ago. Yeah. And TBIs. And in light of that, Jace, because they mention how many concussions he got, and then throughout the movie, he gets like 7 more. There's scenes where his head's ringing and he's like trying to struggle to get up. And as someone who suffered from a TBI that fucked me up for like a year and a half, like that was hard for me to watch. It's the same reason why I cringe when I watch football still. And in that sense, when we talk about, you know, players' rights and workers' rights, seeing this movie where they're like, it's just a concussion, walk it off, be a man, and like I think that also, it was another aspect where I was like, fuck, like, but that's interesting what you said, Ryan, about changing the tone of this movie, because I think the perception's totally flipped. You know, you could have like a more of a pro workers' rights type of movie where the bad guys are flipped easily, but I don't know if people would root for the replacements team in that case. Like, I don't think we would be like, yeah, go Keanu's character who's a scab and is like undermining this really important cause. Maybe if they made them all villains, or like, you know.
Yeah, I think from that perspective, you could make it like that's the character arc where you start at being like, what the heck is this guy doing? Like, man, I really don't like this guy. And by the end, you're just like, he just needs a paycheck. Homie lives on a boat and scrapes barnacles for a living.
That is literally the dichotomy of it, is that less than 0.1% of people who grow up in the United States who think that they could make it big and play sports end up not playing. How many colleges in the United States are there where there is a quarterback who tries to make it in the NFL and then doesn't?
Yeah. Hear that, NCAA? Pay them. Pay up. If you're listening, NCAA, pay up.
Fucking pay them, dude. A lot of these dudes
it's Jace, that's actually funny. I know a guy who went to high school with him. He was our star quarterback, and then went to college and ended up being on like the training team for an NFL team, and was the star of our high school, and like was pretty good. Played at a big college, like in California, like a really big college, and then barely made the 120 person team of
Yeah.
like a bottom barrel NFL team.
That's so strange. Like, the levels of fame and the money in the NFL. I think we've had this conversation on a previous episode, maybe during our last Super Bowl episode, about like how maybe the best position is like a third string quarterback where you make a solid middle income. Like you get like paid like 300, 400 grand a year to just kind of warm the bench.
You're not getting ass blasted.
Yeah. Once in a blue moon, you got to throw a couple of passes or whatever. And by then your team's already fucked. Who cares? Like, it's not your, like, that would be the best team. Like,
And in the worst case scenario, you turn to be Tom Brady.
Yeah.
That's literally his origin story.
Right. He was like, wasn't he like a third string or something?
Yeah,
was,
and
like,
Bledsoe got hurt like literally in the middle of a game, and he had to come in and just absolutely like turn into the greatest player of all time.
They're like,
Wazoo's
have you
own
been
Bledsoe.
the GOAT this whole time? And he's like, yeah.
Also, fuck the scouting department who was just sitting this dude on the bench.
That's another issue too with coaches and favoritism. You see that in this movie where the owner of the team, who shouldn't be making any of the calls because his team has literally not been to the play. It sounds like they haven't been to the playoffs in a very long time. Is like, we have a team full of replacements, but I want you to play the quarterback that I pay a lot of money. It's like, you don't know shit about football, do you?
yeah. And they made that replacement, the original quarterback, the one who's like, quote unquote, the spoiled millionaire. They made him so irredeemably bad that I couldn't believe him as a villain.
And he only was asking for $8 million, guys. Are you kidding me? 8 million, like, and not
like
8 million increase, 8 million total. I think from 7 million to 8 million. Like,
And he's the best quarterback in the league.
he's 2 Super Bowl champions. He's the best in the league. And he's making $8 million. Like, are you kidding me? There are $50 million NBA contracts right now per year, and like I think football's the same way. But like, man.
Even with inflation, that is a paltry sum considering like what they put their bodies through, or just considering the profit, man. Give them more.
Yeah,
of a
consider
share of,
that's the
like,
thing.
It's really the
considering
profit.
And like,
Yeah.
and like, I've heard this from people I respect and like intelligent people who I consider friends. Like, why the hell do they complain? They get paid so much money. I don't think it's right that they get paid $20 million. That's just back when it was $20 million. And like, do you understand how many hundreds of millions the owners make?
Yeah.
There's some
We're
people
sitting on their ass. Yeah.
who their only source of income is the team that they own.
Yeah.
Eat the rich, everybody.
And that's why. Yeah, eat the rich. That's the new replacements. Like at the end, they overthrow the society.
Yeah.
I had something to say in there. I just wanted to throw this. I think this movie was done wrong in the way that it was a comedy. In a way, a lot of the jokes that landed on being racial were now. This whole movie is a time capsule to 2000 vernacular.
Yeah.
Just absolutely. And a lot of the jokes, I sent you a message about one that was just like, you get caught off guard.
There's an interesting, but also there's a very interesting conversation that almost happened. Like, you had this character who was racist towards Asian, pretty much all Asian people, right?
Yeah.
And by the end, he's friends with the Asian man that he was discriminating against.
Yeah.
But there's never like a moment where he's like, oh man, you know what? Now I see this. Now I see the error of my ways. All he says is, hey, we're friends now. Right.
Yeah.
So it was so close to, because sometimes when you want to set up a character in this way, the first scene, which is almost exactly to how this scene happened, except there was no like bing moment. He said the first character would say, oh, you're a this. And he's like, no, actually, I'm not. That's a racist thing for you to say. I'm actually this other thing, and it's racist for you to mix the two up. And then by the end of the movie, there would be some callback to that conversation and have the guy be like, and make that distinction.
Yeah, that was.
But that never happened. It just.
Oh yeah.
I think what
director didn't
was
care.
really offensive was the audience would probably be like, ha ha ha. That's right. They are all the same. Ignore the person correcting you, because the character keeps on making the mistake.
Yeah, I mean, totally. Like, it was missing that particular scene, because this happens in real life too, where they do become buddies because of shared circumstance. But the sense of understanding is never reached, So then it becomes like, well, I'm not racist against Asians. I'm friends with one. Like it can easily translate.
Even though his opinion, there's
Never changed,
no evidence that his opinion or like his knowledge of the matter has changed.
Oh, totally. Yeah. And it's something I've experienced to some extent just because, I'm half Korean. I get mistaken for a lot of different various Asian races. Like, growing up, people are like, oh, you're from China. Like they just say it to my face, or I've had people just straight up call me a Chinaman, like growing up and like, things like that. And then, I become a lot friends with a lot of these people just because we're growing up in the same space in the same small town. And a lot of these people don't change their views on Asians. They don't change their views about like how I feel when they make certain comments about Asians. And it becomes the same issue where you just say like, see, I'm friends with one of these. I'm not like, I don't have any problematic views, but there's no reflection. Yeah. And I think that's indicative of the movie. So yeah, this movie was, there was moments I think that I may have enjoyed, but I mean, it was sparse. And this was actually the first movie that like Amber walked out of while we were watching together.
Really?
In the Keanu season, she was like, I'm out. I wanted to walk out too. Like, I think especially a lot of the comedy too. If we just look at it from objectively, like a non, we take away like the subject matter of the comedy too. Like, I think some of it was kind of hacky. I think I saw like a lot of the punchlines come like 30 seconds before they happened. And I was kind of dreading them a little bit. I was like, no, don't go there. It's the easy joke to make, and they make it. The dialogue too was just bad as well. Like flirting between Keanu and the Annabelle was also very strange. I didn't really believe it. There were other aspects of this movie aside from the content, I think, that were lacking as well.
I didn't think you were gonna say any of that stuff. Well, let's be clear.
Yeah.
I love this movie.
Oh no.
I think. Oh man, I'm loving the Keanu season a lot more than you guys are.
Oh.
I really like this movie. This is apart from all the problematic things. That are in there. There's obvious problematic parts that I don't like, and I wish were out or done differently. But like. Yeah, a lot of the jokes worked for me. I did see them coming, but I don't care. Sometimes I like it when I see a joke coming because then I'm just like, yeah, I can relax, I don't have to like be thinking 100% of the time. I'm like, oh, he's going to say this, or like, I can maybe look away for a second or, take a drink or something. It's a good, I had a beer in front of me.
Yeah, of course. That's headspace. Yeah.
That's right. Like, I liked watching this. I enjoyed watching this movie, and to take it back a step and realize that this movie is made to watch just and have fun. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not, it's not a new Adam McKay movie that's a comedy, but it's trying to make a social message. I don't like the style of the thumbs up, thumbs down, like critique, like binary, like popcorn movie kind of critique analysis, but it's hard to really hate on it that much. I liked the flirting. I don't know why. You said you didn't like it. I liked Brooke Langdon and Keanu Reeves. I think had good chemistry. I honestly think that.
Yeah, that's fine, dog. I mean, other people's got different. They're gonna have different opinions, different experiences. Yeah, Jason, wait, what are you gonna say?
I realized that in the Lake House that Sandra Bullock was, lead actor as well. And maybe I think his chemistry in this movie, unfortunately, was better.
No.
And I don't know why. I've been trying to psychoanalyze this. I was like, is this? Do I have a problem? I think I might have issues. But like, their scenes, while shorter together, and some of them being like really sappy and kind of like weird, like looking at her for 45 seconds on the field while you're supposed to be playing football, are just totally like, 2000s comedy movie, sappy love story. Like their actual interactions in the bar, and then in some of the other scenes, was like, okay. I liked her character. She had actual football knowledge. Like one of the major issues of this movie for me was they kept being like, oh, that's why girls don't play football. And it's like, totally. she was like, one of the biggest things that can be an issue for, I think, people trying to get into a hobby is people gatekeeping, and people gatekeep women getting into sports all the time. And it's like Yuri loves football, and we talk about football a lot. So her being very knowledgeable and like multiple times being like, Dallas offense is playing zone defense. You can pick them apart out there. You've got a really fast receiver. I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, but and then like some things too is like she was never really appreciated except for by Keanu. Like there's an alternate form of this movie that's really good.
Yeah.
Like there's an alternate form where like she gives them coaching advice and that's implemented in the game besides just through Keanu, or like she's head cheerleader, but like also there's this whole network of cheerleaders who provide like day of scouting information, which kind of happens, but that's never like paid off, right? Where like she actually is she's a vital piece of the team that like they need her scouting information from other cheerleaders across the league, and like that could have been so cool. Where I did like that she had a second job and was this like blue collar, because that's very true to life, right? With these cheerleaders who have 2 or 3 other jobs just to make ends meet because they're paid nothing.
Yeah.
And I think she was a good character in an imperfect world that's hostile towards women in both real life and in the movie.
I think the movie was hostile towards women too, because
Oh,
the
yeah,
girls
it
don't
was.
play football.
Yeah.
Was just like a thing that kind of Keanu affirmed later, and they're like, yeah. And then like the first gag too with Annabelle's character was about how terrible of a driver she is. Like there was nothing in her character to indicate why
Yeah,
she would be a
there
bad
could have been a
driver.
joke.
Fuck, I forgot about that.
That
There could have been a joke that was like, she's really good at driving, so that's why she's driving like this, or like she's just a crazy driver rather than just bad.
Because she's not an insane person. She's not the type of person who would be impatient or trying to rush.
Yeah.
But literally, she gets in the car. She's like, "You want to ride?" And he's like, "Yeah." And then she's just like one finger on the steering wheel, like almost getting into like 80 accidents. And he's like, "Oh, geez, the woman's driving." Like it was that was the vibe and of that scene.
Yeah, you're right.
It's like, oh no.
That goes into the actual movie rating, though. Less so my enjoyment.
Right? Yeah. But I agree. I think she had interesting aspects to her character. Like wasn't quite one dimensional. Like she had a background, something to get invested in.
That was a storyboarding for this. They wrote down the characters' names, and then they tried to give them a few plot points, and then they were like, "That's too much." Throw in a shitty joke.
Yeah, she's a woman, so let's put a bunch of woman jokes in here. Let's see, next guy, Asian guy. He's gonna be a sumo wrestler. He's gonna be put a bunch of Asian jokes. Anyone got Asian jokes? Right here. All right, sweet.
I think they just put like a old crotchety white guy.
Yeah.
And they're like, they just showed him headshots of the different people they're thinking of casting. And they just hated like, okay, give us your joke. Like word association. Chinese man. Black guy. Woman.
So I do want to point out that whether you guys know or it even matters that Ace Yonamine played a sumo wrestler 5 years later in Memoirs of a Geisha, which is pretty cool.
Oh, I've seen that. That's neat. He has the build. Like he's huge. Like he's a huge man.
And R.I.P. Also, the egg eating scene to me was fucking hilarious, because I regularly eat before I go play sports, and then halfway through I'm like, why did I do that? Why did I do that?
Boiled eggs sounds like the worst. Speaking of Jumbo, like who's his character? There's a scene where he gets the ball and he makes the touchdown. Like how viable of a strat is it to give the ball to?
Unfortunately, right now it's illegal.
It's illegal to give someone else.
He would only be able to have. The only reason he was able to get that ball is because it was deflected in the air off of a defender.
I think is it still legal for it to be defender? I thought it had to be an eligible receiver first.
Oh, I don't know. There are a lot of weird
How about
line of scrimmage rules that I don't understand.
Instead, we instead of getting running backs who are fast and strong and really fit, like you get a really, really slow 800-pound man who can't be tackled that easily. It's like a tank, and have them run the ball.
Yeah, the problem is the other team has literally 7 of those dudes that weigh 400 pounds.
Oh no, they'll hound them.
Getting bigger really doesn't help, unfortunately.
Because what if we just keep making bigger guys, like until they're like 2,000 pounds, and you have 2,000-pound guys eventually just smacking it.
This is the problem. This is the reason those people are dying. This
is a bad sport. Football's a bad sport.
Football.
Yeah,
we should review.
Get a review. We should wrap this up. It's a lot. Ryan,
threw the
got
meter
the
up.
Keanuometer.
Oof. All right, so the Keanuometer. So just to rate Keanu's performance, I think this is going to be easier than the movie meter because I have some moral decisions to make on the movie meter. But your boy Keanu can bring it. Like, it might be pretty much the same movie if you replace him, right? But he's identifiably Keanu the entire movie, and I like his like kind of lone wolf attitude he brings to this scab quarterback. I really liked his hair. Oh God,
That was great.
Busting out the speed physique for a second role. Oh man, there's also a half-second long clip of him just going, "Oh," that I really, really, really liked. That I had to rewind to watch.
What are you talking about?
Okay, so I actually have a video of it, but my phone doesn't let me make a clip shorter than 1 second.
Right.
When they're singing in the jail, for some
like,
reason,
"Oh!"
it just shows him and he goes, "Oh!" And it's amazing. I'm going to give Keanu an 8.
All right.
I have almost no qualms with him. A little bit lower for the fact that he has to wear a helmet.
Takes an awful lot.
Yeah, I just want to see that hair, buddy. I just want to see it. Show me it. Show me them locks, or make it long enough to where it comes at the bottom. Nothing else to say. It's Keanu Reeves, and he plays a quarterback in a football movie.
Yeah. that might be all you need to say.
Not many word need for this movie.
If it was actually him, can we look up if it was actually him underwater?
I heard most of this movie was their own stunts.
Because if it was actually him underwater, I might bump this up.
Yeah.
It probably was him. Like, he's known for just doing it. Like,
he's probably like, train me. I'm not gonna let somebody else do my stunt.
Yeah.
You can
Chase,
go
what do you
ahead.
think? Yeah.
I'm
What do you
gonna
think of
try
that?
and Google this.
I'm gonna start it at a baseline, and pain heals, chicks dig scars, glory lasts forever. Do you know how many syllables that is?
No.
It's 10.
Okay. Oh. So
I'm not gonna give it a 10 though.
okay. I was like, wow. Okay.
I do think I'm getting to this point where I feel like Keanu's reaction to stimuli in most movies, besides maybe speed, is about the same. Really the same. It's the stoic kind of the one face. Not to say that I don't enjoy the way that he acts in these movies, but really the acting performance kind of felt no different to what we might have seen in like The Lake House or some of the other movies around here. So love the hair. He finally has like a Matthew McConaughey style entrance where he's like running onto the field and it makes no sense why the fans are blowing and he's just like looking sexy. Hair, kick-ass entrance. Did we get a whoa? We got a ah.
Yeah, I don't think we actually got a whoa. You should look for that. Yeah.
Oh man, I want to give it pretty high, but I don't know if I can go with. I'm gonna give it a 7.
Okay, that's pretty solid.
7 for Keanu. It is pretty solid. I think as far as his performance and what this movie was and what it could be, I like how he acted when he got his truck flipped and he just is like, okay, whatever, and he walks away and they say some shit and he just like waves behind him.
That seems like a Keanu, like what he would actually probably do.
Oh, and actually, shit. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to bump it up to an 8 because there's another really Keanu thing that he did. One of the things that Keanu Reeves does when he's in movies and he wants another actor to be in it is he takes a huge pay cut. And he took a really big pay cut on this movie so that the coach could be in it as well.
Gene Hackman?
Yep.
Oh, shit.
And you know what? I respect that, and I think if I had been paying attention to it sooner, I might have looked it up and been giving points on the meter to him when he does that. But I'll go with an 8, or maybe I should have given him a 6, and it should be a 7. I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Hey, it's in the record. Yeah. For my Keanometer, I'm trying to think of things because like I agree with you guys. Like he had a great Keanu hair. That's always going to be in the meter. You know, just like Matthew McConaughey, it's part of his whole deal as an actor. It's like it's part of his look. It's why you hire the guy. He has a vibe. And also, in regards to that vibe, he was stoic, like we talked about. He was wise. He was a chill guy, but you can tell he was weathered. Like there was aspects about him where he's been through a lot, and he can bring some perspective, but he still's got a little bit of fire in him. And I think I got that from the role. I think we're in a phase of Keanu's career where he's tipping in that direction. He's kind of tipping outside of the, oh, I'm an immature bro and I don't know what's going on, and now it's kind of more into the wise, kind of the older, wiser Keanu that we know and love in the second phase of his career. So I think it was a decent casting. Where I'm going to dock him a little bit is that this was a little weird of a role for him. I think it's supposed to be for a younger guy, someone who's supposed to be in their mid-20s. I think that's a strange casting for him. I also don't think this is quite a Keanu movie. Like, it's not a Keanu movie in the same sense as, like, I think Matrix or John Wick is, because it's more about the team. It's not going to be like, oh, you like Keanu Reeves, you're going to like this movie. It's going to be like, you like this movie because you like football and all this other stuff. So I think I'm going to give it a 6. It's a decent showing for the Reeves man. Okay. Like he's definitely there. I also liked, he's a gentleman in the movie. Like a lot of actors, especially Matthew McConaughey and Ben Affleck, let's face it, they play like creepy, weird, horny dudes when they're with the female counterparts. And, he played it like pretty respectful, I think. Like he didn't really cross any shitty lines. Like he was reading her, like, her moods and stuff, and like taking her signals in and backing off when like she didn't want it, to anything to do with him. I liked that aspect of Keanu. I think that carries over in his movies. I don't think he's ever like creepy or weird where I'm kind of like, oh, don't fucking do that. So yeah, I give him points for that.
I think the
above a 5.
the thesis.
That's good. Yeah.
That we just really like Keanu Reeves.
I fucking love Keanu, dude.
I do. I think he did good in the movie. Like,
I think that's the thing. Like, we just like him more than we like the other guys. Like the other guys were punching up because they're kind of weird assholes in real life, even. So it's kind of just make fun of him. But like Keanu's, I don't know. When's he ever been really a villain?
Yeah, he can do no wrong, I think, in my head. Like, he can literally just have a movie where he's just, like, totally phoning it in. I think I would still defend. Like, Dracula, I think I even defended him a little bit. I was like, it's not his fault. How dare you?
He was a better quarterback than he was Vampire Hunter. That's for sure.
Crossover.
Yeah.
You have a quarterback who turns to vampire hunting and throws the stakes.
Throws the stakes. And they're like, the vampire's running away, and he's like, go long. And he throws the stake like 80 yards through the guy's chest.
Put a stake in the football and have a pointy end coming out of the bit, and he could just...
Put laces on a wood carving or something.
Like when he throws it hard at that guy's head, except it's a vampire's head.
Yeah.
Yes. Dude, add him to the deli, dude. Suck it.
Yeah.
Football court. What's his deli thing though?
It's steak, but it's just spelled incorrectly.
It's what's the movie meter?
Okay, so let's get back to maybe critical world, I guess. Right. This is where I try to take on more of like a critical tone. I still have no clue how to do that with this movie, right? Because there's so many things that are wrong about the way this movie presents itself. I don't think that the person behind the camera understood that the people are expressing bad opinions. Like if you have this opinion that this character is espousing, you are a bad person. I don't think the director subscribed to that belief, which makes it hard to watch, which might make this, irredeemable and might make it controversial. I don't know how to hold that against. I guess I'm not rating Keanu anymore, so I can hold it against the movie, right? Like, I still enjoyed watching it. I think the actors did fine. Like Jace mentioned this point, the actors are doing what they're doing. They're just making a football movie. They're told to say these lines. I don't think that any one of them was really, really bad. My favorite was the guy who was deaf, who's played by the actor most known for The Office. He's Pam's boyfriend, former fiance or whatever. He was amazing. Like, he did a really good job. Like, selling the deafness, he did a little bit of like sign language and like trying to work with the able hearing people.
Yeah.
And there was a little bit of a, how am I going to work with a deaf guy? jokes. And there was, this is the one thing I think, right, where like Keanu Reeves told the bad guy, hey, don't talk to my deaf friend like that. Like it's up for him. I think that's the one character that was really treated right, maybe as right as we can expect of 2000. Gene Hackman did all of that legwork, right? Where if there was a maybe disenfranchised or maybe a discriminated kind of demographic represented, then Gene Hackman was the one being respectful, and was saying, we have a Japanese person here who's very big and he's very good at football. Just, kind of just take him in. And then everybody like, oh, sumo boy, and like would be really racist. But then Gene Hackman would be like, oh, this guy's Welsh. He called himself Wiry. He's not that strange. He's just from Wales. Just treat him like a normal human being. And then with the deaf guy, he said, learn sign language to the coach. But maybe Gene Hackman was supposed to be some idiot liberal, right? Because the other people he clashed with in the movie are like, we already talked about this, like the owner, like they weren't, in the end, they weren't critiqued hard enough and they weren't redeemed. So where does that put him? I don't know, man. I liked this. I liked this movie. I can't explain why I liked it, despite those things I just said. Like the Ocean's 11 recruiting scene was amazing. Oh my gosh. Like do that in more movies. Every movie needs to have an Ocean's 11 recruiting scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially with Jon Favreau, where he's just like this insane psychopath.
He killed it.
Yeah. With all of that, my biggest gripe was actually the amount of music in the movie. Almost every single movie, it's not montage, but like almost every single scene has this like pop soundtrack where they just chose the cheapest song off the royalty charts to get, and they just played it over the movie. And sometimes it didn't make sense tonally. Sometimes it turned it into a montage. Like please just actually make the plot, make sense. Don't just like put everything behind a stupid pop rock song. Oh god, it is, I don't know what to say. I'm gonna give this movie a 5. Woo.
Wow.
I burned out there because I realized I was just griping and not making good content.
I think this is a dad rock movie. I mean, or
this is a dadcore movie for sure. Dadcore comedy.
A lot of dad rock.
Yeah.
And it's about football. It's about meatheads playing football. Like,
Yeah. I'm gonna come out right at the gate and say it. I'm gonna give it a 4 because I enjoyed watching it, and there were moments where I was invested. But there's enough wrong with it from it being a 2000s time capsule and like things that I think if you edited it and you changed some of the jokes, movie could be like a 7 or an 8. But again, with these movies that we watch from the 2000s where these things were rife and all over the place, I loved when John Madden commentated, I think, over the bar scene.
Oh,
yeah.
He's making the move.
When he's making the move. Between Keanu and Brooke. So I don't have much more to give it than that. There was a base level of enjoyment that I got from watching a sports team do heroic things. And then the physical comedy as a part of the actual football scenes. Jon Favreau being absolutely crazy. The coach were like, I need that ball. I need the ball. He's like, you need the ball. We need the ball. Like, get the ball. Like, every time he was on the screen, I was laughing my ass off because he was just doing something absolutely insane that I would never expect from him. But yeah, still just like 4. It's a weird movie. It's like I would be like, I enjoyed this, but
yeah, it's a weird movie in the Keanu collection too. Like it's I'm trying to think of like a Matthew McConaughey movie, because I feel like this is more of the Matthew McConaughey wheelhouse, where we were watching comedies where we were like, fuck, I don't know, we were struggling to kind of put our finger on how we actually felt about it, or in trying not to like impart our modern sensibilities on it. But I think to an extent we can, if we want, because we're modern dudes, we're gonna watch this fucking movie. Like,
yeah, today of all days.
Yeah, Super Bowl Sunday. Weird.
This movie, like, man, I really, I've said this earlier, like I really struggled with it. This movie is made for somebody I think people with different experiences, and of course, humor is of course, like, people respond differently to different things. Like that somebody is not me. Like, I did not connect with this movie to really any extent. Like, I think, and I'm about to get overly serious about the dumb comedy we watched, but I want to at least communicate why I had such a negative reaction to it. Because I think after this movie was shut off, I was actually in like a bad mood for like a few hours. Because like I think it represented, at least in some part, a lot of aspects that I dislike about society and our culture. Not to get clickbaity, but like toxic masculinity, sexism, casual racism, anti-union shit, casual sexual harassment for comedy, like things like that really frustrate me on a daily basis. And it kind of like watching a movie that really reminds me of that stuff and making it a comedy where it's like, come on, like, don't be so serious. Like, we're all just fucking around, like, that kind of shit. That kind of pushes me over the edge sometimes. And maybe I wasn't in the right headspace to watch something like that where I can just shut that off. But I think it kind of just, not only did I not enjoy it, but it also kind of soured the rest of my evening. Where that's gonna hurt it for me. The comedy, I already said, like, it didn't quite work for me. Those aspects that I laughed, like I did straight up, but when the jokes are too easy, I shut off. Like, I'm just like, this is lazy. I wanted to tune out. I think within 20 minutes, I was like, oh no, I'm going to hate this movie, which is unfortunate. Like, I didn't want to hate it. I've had people recommend me this movie too throughout my life. I am like a fan of Keanu Reeves movies. Like, I always want to like him. I think I liked him decently in this role. But it's where I draw the line is when it's like a comedy that I think is somehow harmful for society. Like, when I could see someone watching this and being like, see, it doesn't matter if you have all these shitty ideas and views if you played football. I also think the ending fell a little flat for me, just from a plot standpoint. They're like, sure, all these guys have to go back to their shitty situations. This guy's got to go back to jail. He's fucking broke. This guy, his life sucks. But we all played a good game, and that sticks with you. You have this great one-day memory. Go back to your shitty fucking lives, and we're gonna keep underplaying these players. And I think that also just soured the movie. I was like, Jesus, like I don't think I connected with enough things to really push it over the edge. I'm gonna give this movie a 1, and the 1 is because I connected with at least the jailhouse scene. I thought that was a little fun, where they're kind of singing together, but it was a little, it was a little hokey. Like, man, there was a lot of cheesy shit. This movie's not for me. If it's for you, don't feel bad. Listen, don't feel, you don't have to feel bad. I watch a lot of shitty comedies. Okay, like, this isn't the shitty comedy for me, but it's a shitty comedy for somebody else.
I don't know that I would recommend this movie. Again, like, I enjoyed it, but I agree with.
Yeah, I think I agree with everything you say, right? And I don't even have the same perspective, right? Because I think in a way I'm the person, I most closely represent the people that it thinks are laughing with it. But
no, I mean, I don't knock you guys for, like, because
right. No, totally. And I don't like those things that are problematic about it, right?
Yeah.
But that's the surprising that it's that low. I think it's fine, but it's like, when someone has that opinion that's that different than mine and has legitimate concerns, I kind of try and go back and reevaluate my outlook on things, whether this is talking about movies or anything else in life. So I'm trying to think, like, how would someone other than me feel watching this movie? So I wonder how Julie felt. And you said that Amber left. So I wonder what that's like.
Amber walked out, and I think what kind of pushed it over the edge, and I can't really speak for her, but like, there was a lot of woman jokes, like, stacked over and over, and I could see where it's like, you get that your whole fucking life, and like, you're gonna just have this movie just shove it in your face, and all these bros laughing and shit. Like, that's, and just the few Asian jokes kind of set me, like, it just triggered all these memories of like middle school, high school, people asking me if I'm from North Korea, if I'm a Chinese agent, like all that shit. Like, I'm like, that just soured my movie experience. And I don't think I'm being overly sensitive about that either. Like, that's just like,
no,
why put that in?
Yeah.
Like, so that's, and I should also say, I'm not like the biggest football fan. I enjoy sometimes watching football games, but I'm not like a football guy. And maybe that's why. Another thing, like, if I don't have a football connection, maybe that's going to be lower for me. Like, that's
until a month ago when I went to the game in person. I hadn't watched a football game, I think, in like 4 years.
Yeah.
So I kind of agree. I have way fallen out of favor with football. I think it's just not up my alley anymore. And I think part of the reason is when I think football, I think basically this movie, or at least the opinions that are expressed in this movie. I associate bad things with it, and it's coming along too slowly. It's definitely extremely popular and extremely conservative still, and that's kind of the issue for me.
I do like wings, and I like eating a bunch of garbage, or
Buffalo, dude, buffalo wings. Oh my god, thank God. Those buffalo wings and football, like, yeah, okay, whatever. That's like peanut butter and jelly.
If it can be buffalo wings and all the garbage, and we're all just watching like a chess tournament or something nerdy.
Yeah, dude, let's get hyped.
We'd all enjoy more. I think that'd be hype.
Have you watched a chess tournament?
I've never watched it. I just feel like I'd like it. I like
they
watching
can
games.
be like 4 hours long. It is not exciting to watch.
All right, let me pick a more fun thing. I don't know, man. Like
literally anything else.
The thing about chess too is like it's so rare for an individual game to matter.
I picked a bad example, okay?
No. It's fine. No, it's fine. It's just like that's one thing about football. Football is curated, specifically with like intent to have the most things matter as possible.
Yeah.
Right. So like they want every single play, every single game to matter, and that's why it's so. Let's be real. That and the violence and the misogyny is why it's so popular.
Yeah.
There's other sports that are better for designing a sport for fairness and like rewarding skill and rewarding the better team. Football is not that. Football is like a 100% spectator sport. You never know what's going to happen.
Football is also like mostly legal challenges. I feel like it's. I remember like my first football game I watched. I was like, why is it like 90% dead air? Of like, wow, just think they stepped over the line. Let's talk about it.
Well, that's by design as well. It's like that's literally to get more ads in. It
is a bad sport, man. Like when I watched a basketball game live, I was like, this is way better, like way more dynamic. Like anyways, I'm just being a
football's for getting drunk and scrolling through your favorite internet thing to look up to the screen and be like, whoa, cool play, and then go back down.
Anyways. Did you guys see briefly there's an Allstate Sugar Bowl fanfic on this, like on the official Allstate Sugar Bowl website, where they kind of do like they highlight certain players from the past. They're like, oh, Drew Bledsoe, and they kind of do a thing about what he does his whole life. They actually have a page for Shane Falco, and they play it totally straight, and they actually like, talk about his life after the events of the replacements.
Where is
and they're like, it's on the Allstate Sugar Bowl website, but you can just type in what happened to Shane Falco after the replacements. And they're like, after the game, he had some financial success. He invented the Footsteps 2000 underwater treadmill. It's a standard equipment for a lot of professional athletes nowadays. And the Falco 3000 is about to come out. And then they go through and they're like, this guy got out of jail and became actually a police officer. And this other guy, we haven't heard from him. And like they actually did like a full on canon retelling of what happens. Just a little treat for you replacement fans.
You shouldn't be replacement fans.
You shouldn't be replacement.
Here's
a treat, though. We made you feel bad for being a replacement fan, so here's a treat.
This is like a guilty pleasure movie at its heart. It's like, oh, wow, I'm enjoying this thing because these things don't affect me. Oh, God, I'm a piece of shit.
Oh, no. I mean, that's okay. This is your guys' Saharas.
I gave it a 4.
No,
this is not my Sahara.
It's not. No. You guys, do not put that evil on me.
You guys love racism, and you guys did it on camera. And you guys love.
We got to redo this episode.
No.
We actually spent a majority of the first half of it renouncing the fact that it was racist and sexist jokes.
Yeah.
I liked when the evil people got punched in the face and the eggs being thrown up on the field.
That was funny. The replacements, guys. Let us know what you think. And we did talk off camera about what we want to do next episode.
Hopefully, because I just want to.
Yeah.
What movie is it? I don't care. Just somebody say
Point Break. fellas?
Are we gonna end on Point Break, or are we gonna just do Point Break next?
I thought we should end on Wick, unless you guys have a different idea.
Oh,
Because Wick is like the
new era.
Yeah.
The new era.
Yeah. Let's do Point Break.
so PB then JW. Stand out the season.
Fuck yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it. Let's make this
Peanut
fast.
butter
All
and
right.
jelly. Which?
Peanut butter jelly Wick. Peanut butter jelly Wick. Peanut butter jelly. I'm psyched. I haven't seen Point Break. We're fucking watching it next week. Join us next week for Point Break.
Oh.
Jace, where can they find us?
You can find us with an easy Google search. Good
Yeah.
Boys Gone Bland. You can send your fanfic. gbgbpodcast@gmail.com.
DJ Khaled. We the best.
You can find us on Instagram at gbgb. Shit, if I don't have the page open, I can't do it.
It's okay. It's okay. You can probably type in Good Boys Gone Bland. You'll find it.
Yeah.
Instagram and Twitter. You just find us. You find us. TikTok, find us. We're at a
Spotify,
point now, I
find
think
us. I got really
us on
drunk when
Spotify.
Michael was here,
Still
and I
on
went down to
Spotify?
my local bar owned by a guy named Rick, and
Yeah.
was belligerently drunk. And I was like, he was listening to music on Spotify. This was probably like 10
Yeah.
minutes before close. Michael and I were the only people in the
Yeah.
bar for the last 4 hours. And I was like, oh, hey, I have a podcast here. Let me type it in for you. And
You
he's-
played our podcast in the bar.
he said he was going to listen to it. I don't know how
Oh.
or when he was going to facilitate that, or if he was going to listen to it in the bar. I hope he doesn't. Maybe,
Let's give him a shout out. What's his name?
Rick,
Rick?
the owner
Shout
of
out,
Uber
Rick.
Tavern. On
Uber
Aurora-
Tavern.
Love Rick.
On
Thanks for
Aurora.
listening, Rick.
Go check out his bar.
It's cool of you to. Yeah, it's cool of you to let Jace play.
We have
our
not
podcast.
investigated Rick's past, by
We
the
ha-
way.
we haven't.
He
Well, Rick seems
was
like a nice
one of
guy.
the
Yeah.
first people. You know that German brewery off the highway in
yeah.
Alaska, the German
Oh.
Yeah.
ale house? He was one of like the first people to source them beer in like the 90s.
Huh. He's a beer pioneer.
He's from Portland, so he's probably okay.
Oh, probably a cool guy.
These are checks. Yeah, these are
These are
green. These are green signs.
What's up, Rick? Feel free to play our. We give our permission, like no trademarks. You can play our podcast whenever you want in the bar, like just when people are hanging out. Just maybe go on the microphone and be like, "This is not for children."
Oh yeah, that's the one thing too. Is like, what kind of bar is it?
Oh, children cannot go in. It's a tavern only, so 21
Yeah, is
plus.
it one of those children bars?
Well, no, sometimes it's a restaurant bar, right?
Yeah.
Where you don't have to be 21.
Not that place.
Oh, like Chuck.
Red Robin.
Yeah.
Chuck E. Cheese. All right, sweet. Thanks, guys. And as always, is there an as always? Can we? Is there a...
Football! Football!